Living Spec is an efficient collaboration platform for product teams to define what they are building and why. Living Spec has many features. Today we'll focus on features that help you naturally evolve your product spec over time, from simple high-level vision to a more organized living spec. Let's pretend we're building the first iPod and defining the specification for it. At high level, a spec can be as simple as a few sentences. For example, 1,000 songs in your pocket, 10 hours of battery life. For fun, let's assume the original spec was a more ambitious 10,000 songs in your pocket, and someone came along and cleaned it up later. Too often in spec authoring systems, we find ourselves constantly rethinking how we'll organize information, and then we start over, instead of having a simple, natural way to evolve information over time. Take a simple bullet list. Lists often represent outlines of related ideas or action items. With Living Spec, we can take our simple list, highlight it, and either via toolbar buttons or keyboard shortcuts, convert that list into a collection of related spec pages. Or take that same collection and convert it into a bunch of tasks. Then from anywhere within our spec, we can cross-reference these pages or specs, easily connecting related things together. An important step in spec authoring is quickly writing down all of the relevant details as efficiently as possible. We don't have to worry about where they live, we can clean them up later and move them around. We often realize that we've provided too much information at the wrong place in our spec, and that's okay. With Living Spec, we can easily highlight a section of our spec that's misplaced and move it elsewhere. In this case, someone put information about the click wheel design at the wrong level, so we moved it down into our spec tree at its appropriate place. For us, tasks should be a place for quick status and comments, not the source of truth for key product decisions. Sometimes, though, a task starts to collect important details that can easily get lost or buried, or that it turns out that that task was actually its own mini spec on its own. So rather than having to recreate all of that information manually, we can evolve a task into a spec page, automatically updating all references from that task to the new spec page. When we're creating large specs, we often find ourselves repeating common formats, such as a use case template or a sprint plan. Living Spec provides a simple snippet system to encourage reuse. You can insert an already saved snippet, highlight a block of content and save that as a snippet, as well as editing or cloning the snippet that you have already created. We can also change our minds easily. 10,000 songs was way too ambitious for the first iPod. Let's scale that back to 1,000 songs so we can release the first iPod at an affordable price point. These are just some of the features that we feel help make spec writing less of a chore and more of a natural process, helping you create a living spec that will survive with your team from start to finish. Visit livingspec.com to join our beta waiting list and start using Living Spec to create your next product.